Most people think Travis Kelce is the only millionaire in his family. They're wrong. Between his brother's massive fortune, blockbuster business deals, and a family that quietly built serious wealth long before the spotlight, the Kelces are far richer than most fans ever realized. Let's get into it. Here's where it starts. Travis Kelce is an American professional football player, podcast host, media personality, and entrepreneur who has a net worth of $100 million, with a 2026 NFL salary carrying $12 million in guaranteed cash from the Kansas City Chiefs. That figure comes straight from Celebrity Net Worth's most recent tracking, and it puts him in rare company for a tight end, a position that historically hasn't paid like quarterback or receiver money. But Travis isn't the only Kelce with a bank account worth talking about. As of 2026, Jason Kelce's net worth is estimated to be around $60 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. That's his brother, the retired Eagles center, who's now doing TV instead of football, and somehow making even more money doing it. Put those two figures together, and you're already at $160 million, between two brothers who grew up in the same house in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And that's before anyone mentions their parents. Now, here's the part that surprises people. Their mother, Donna Kelce, isn't just the NFL mom who goes viral wearing a jersey with both her son's numbers stitched together. Donna had a successful 3-decade career in banking, retiring as a senior vice president at Truist, and she's also likely received compensation for her Hallmark movie appearances, her role on the upcoming season of The Traitors, and various commercial deals. She built her own financial track record long before either of her sons put on an NFL jersey. Their father, Ed Kelce, tells a different kind of story, one that starts in Cleveland's steel mills, not in a corner office. After his Crohn's disease diagnosis, he went on to have a very successful career in the steel and metal industry in Cleveland, and he's gone on record saying that he often took his two sons to work with him at the steel mill. As he told the Los Angeles Times, he'd bring the boys in full safety gear, hard hat, glasses, boots, just so they could see what the job actually looked like. So when people say the Kelce family is richer than you think, this is what they mean. It's not just Travis's contract. It's not just the Taylor Swift headlines. It's a mother who spent 30 years underwriting affordable housing loans, a father who spent decades selling steel products across the Midwest, and two sons who turned football into media empires that now dwarf their playing salaries. And that's really the shape of this story. 4 people, 4 completely different paths to money, and a combined fortune that keeps growing every time one of them signs a new deal. Travis just re-upped with the Chiefs. Jason just landed a new contract extension with ESPN. Their mother just picked up a new TV gig. Their father, even in retirement, keeps showing up on the family podcast in a way that only adds to the brand. To understand how the family got here, you have to look at each piece separately, because none of them got rich the same way. Travis got there through touchdowns and a diamond ring. Jason got there through a decade of the meanest interior line play in football, followed by a media career that's arguably bigger than his playing career ever was. Donna got there the slow way, through banking and underwriting, decades before cameras ever found her. And Ed got there by not getting rich at all, by building a work ethic in a steel mill that he then handed down to 2 kids who turned it into more money than anyone in that family could have imagined. That's the real headline hiding under the obvious one. Everybody knows Travis Kelce is rich. Fewer people realize just how much of that wealth runs through the rest of his family and how long it took to build. So let's break it down person by person, starting with the guy whose name is on the title. Travis Kelce's money didn't start with Taylor Swift, and it didn't start with a Super Bowl ring either. It started with a modest rookie contract that most fans have completely forgotten about. Kelce's first contract in the NFL was worth just $3.12 million, with a $703,304 signing bonus, which he signed as a rookie back in 2013. That's according to Spotrac's contract database, and it's a fraction of what he earns in a single season today. The real turning point came a few years later. In 2016, he got his first extension worth $46 million spread across 5 seasons. That deal is what turned Travis from a promising tight end into one of the highest paid players at his position, and it set the stage for everything that followed. Multiple extensions, multiple Super Bowl runs, and a level of NFL earnings that few players ever reach. By the time you add it all together, the numbers get staggering. Through the 2025 season, he earned a little over $111 million in NFL salary and bonuses, and assuming he fulfills his obligations for the 2026 season. His career NFL earnings will rise to approximately $123 million, all of which has been earned with the Chiefs. That's from Celebrity Net Worth's latest breakdown, and it makes him one of the highest-earning tight ends the league has ever produced. But football is genuinely just one stream of income at this point. In March 2026, Kelce signed what functionally operates as a one-year, $12 million fully guaranteed contract, using void years in 2027 and 2028 to reduce the immediate cap hit. Though with incentives, the deal can rise to roughly $15 million. That's the on-field piece. Off the field is where things get really interesting. His podcast with Jason New Heights went from a side project to a genuine business. With his brother Jason Kelce, he launched the hit podcast New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce, which later landed a reported $100 million deal with Amazon's Wondery. That deal alone puts the show in a category most sports podcasts never reach. Then there's the endorsement side, which exploded once his relationship became public. Kelce's fame reached new heights after he started dating Swift, which led to a spike in commercial sales, helping him earn $2.4 million from jersey sales, video games, and other group licensing income between February 2023 and 2024, per Forbes. That's a number Forbes tracked directly, separate from anything he earns from his actual playing contract. His brand deals now stretch across categories that have nothing to do with football. He's worked with McDonald's, Nike, Dick's Sporting Goods, and Helzberg Diamonds, among others. And in 2026, that list grew even further. In 2026, he became a global brand ambassador and creative collaborator for Tommy Hilfiger, a partnership that includes appearing in campaigns and co-designing a capsule collection. And he also signed a strategic partnership with Six Flags to provide marketing support and use his name and likeness across their platforms. Those are new deals that didn't exist even a couple of years ago, and they show how much his commercial value has grown separate from his playing career. Add the podcast, the endorsements, the acting work. He's hosted a game show, appeared in films, and built out a production side of his career. And you start to see why different outlets peg his fortune, anywhere between $70 million and $100 million, depending on when they last updated the math. While net worth estimates vary because private investments and endorsement earnings are not publicly disclosed, multiple widely followed financial trackers place his wealth at approximately $90 million as of mid-2026. That range keeps shifting because so much of his income now comes from deals that aren't made public the way NFL contracts are. The real point is this: Travis Kelce is no longer just a football player who happens to have a famous partner. He's built an actual business around his name, one that includes broadcasting, hosting, product lines, and brand partnerships that stack on top of a career that's already among the best ever at his position. His statistical resume is one of the strongest ever assembled by a tight end, with more than 13,000 regular season receiving yards, more than 1,000 receptions, and more than 80 regular season touchdown catches. That performance is the foundation everything else got built on top of. So when people throw around numbers like $90 million or $100 million, that's not just a Super Bowl bonus talking. That's over a decade of contracts, a podcast empire, and a commercial engine that keeps adding new deals every single year. And he's not even the only Kelce brother running that kind of playbook. Here's the part that catches people off guard. Jason Kelce isn't playing football anymore, and he's still making more money than he ever did on the field. Start with his playing career, because it's easy to underestimate how much he actually earned as a center, a position that almost never gets quarterback-level money. Jason Kelce has an estimated net worth of $60 million as of November 2025, and $81,708,745 is Jason Kelce's career earnings, as per Spotrac. That's a huge number for a sixth-round draft pick, who almost didn't make an NFL roster at all. His rookie deal was nothing special. As a rookie in 2011, Jason Kelce signed a 4-year contract with the Philadelphia Eagles worth approximately $2.1 million, including a $97,432 signing bonus, with an average salary of $534,358. But once he proved himself as the anchor of the Eagles' offensive line, the money followed. After his first contract was up, he signed a 6-year extension in 2014 for $37.5 million, a significant pay bump compared to his rookie deal, and proof that he was, by then, a top center in the NFL. That single extension more than doubled his career earnings in one signing. By the back half of his career, he was regularly resetting the market at his position. In 2019, he signed a one-year extension worth about $11 million, and in 2021, he secured a one-year, $9 million deal that made him the highest-paid center in the NFL at that time. Those deals kept coming right up until he decided to walk away from the game. In 2024, and that's exactly where the story gets interesting, because retirement didn't slow him down, it sped him up. Ultimately, Jason chose to retire from football in March 2024, and not long after he officially joined ESPN as an analyst in a 3-year deal worth $24 million. That's a broadcasting contract that pays him more per year than most of his NFL salaries did, for a job that doesn't involve getting hit by 300-pound defensive tackles anymore. Then there's the podcast, which might be the single biggest financial engine in the entire Kelce family right now. In 2024, the brothers signed a 3-year deal with Amazon's Wondery, reportedly worth over $100 million, providing exclusive distribution and ad sales. That deal is split between the two brothers, but it's a business Jason co-built from scratch, starting as a casual show about football and family stories, before turning into one of the biggest podcasts in the country. Beyond broadcasting and the podcast, Jason has quietly built out an investment portfolio too. Jason and his brother Travis invested in Garage Beer, a light lager, in 2024, and through an investing company headed by Mark Patrikoff's Patrikoff Co. Jason Kelce has invested in IMG Academy, part of a bigger funding round that included investments from players like Dak Prescott and CeCe Sabathia. Those aren't small side bets. They're the kind of strategic investments athletes make once they've got real money to put to work. He's also built a real estate footprint that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Jason has some money tied up in real estate. He reportedly owns a property in Pennsylvania that he purchased for $680,000, plus 8 acres of land next door, along with places in Sea Isle City and Cleveland. That's a modest but growing property portfolio that sits quietly alongside the bigger media deals. And then there's the retirement speech that says almost everything about how Jason sees his own success. Talking about the doubt he faced throughout his career, he admitted he'd been called overrated, and said the drive that got him through it all came from wanting to prove people wrong. A mentality he traced all the way back to being doubted by fans, coaches, and even his own teammates. It's the same mentality that's carried straight into his post-football career, where he's turned a broadcasting gig, a podcast, and a handful of smart investments into a fortune that keeps climbing even though he hasn't played a snap since 2024. So between the two brothers, you're looking at a combined fortune that easily clears $150 million, built through two completely different post-career paths. One still active on an NFL roster, the other thriving behind a microphone. But neither of them got there without the two people who raised them. And that's where the real surprise in this story lives. This is the part most people skip past, and it's the part that actually explains everything else. Before either son signed an NFL contract, their parents had already spent decades building careers of their own, completely separate from football. Start with Donna. Long before she was the woman in the split jersey going viral at Chiefs and Eagles games, she had a 30-year career in an industry that has nothing to do with sports. Donna Kelce spent 30 years working in the banking industry before retiring in 2021, and according to her LinkedIn profile, she specialized in underwriting affordable housing projects and held senior positions at major financial institutions including Bank One, KeyBank, and Truist. That's a serious financial career built on community development lending, not just parenting two future stars. Her education backs that up too. She earned her undergraduate degree from Ohio University and an MBA from Baldwin Wallace University, building a successful career in community development lending and investing. That MBA came decades before anyone outside Cleveland Heights knew her last name. And here's the twist that people forget. Most of America had no idea who she was until her sons made it big. An impressive career, but most of America didn't know Donna's name until her sons made it to the NFL, with Travis drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs in 2013 and Jason picked by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2011. She built an entire career in relative anonymity, then became a media personality almost by accident once the cameras started following her sons. Since then, she's leaned into it. She's picked up Hallmark movie roles, an upcoming spot on The Traders, and a string of commercial deals that have nothing to do with banking. It's a second act most retirees never get, and it's built entirely on the goodwill her son's fame generated. But the foundation underneath it is a genuine finance career that predates any of that attention. Now to Ed, whose story runs in almost the opposite direction. Where Donna climbed a corporate ladder, Ed built his life around physical labor and a job that never made him rich, but taught his son something money couldn't buy. He applied for the Army but was rejected because of a knee injury, joined the Coast Guard but was cut during boot camp because he had Crohn's disease. And so, because of his health issues, Ed pivoted to a career in the steel industry. Neither the military nor pro sports worked out for him, so he built a different kind of life instead. That steel career became the backbone of the Kelce household. He eventually found a career in the steel industry as a sales representative, selling products to steel manufacturers, a position that afforded him the opportunity to teach his sons about working in steel mills. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills, and it shaped two future NFL players in ways that mattered more than money. Ed has talked openly about why he did it, explaining his reasoning on the Family Podcast. He described his role as helping his sons find a passion and then fueling it. And for both of his boys, that passion turned out to be sports. He even worked extra jobs just to make the holidays feel normal. The former steel industry professional was so determined to give Travis and Jason Kelce the best holidays possible that he'd take on a second job during the festive period, working at C's Candies to make a little extra money that would go toward the boys' presents. That's the kind of detail that doesn't show up in any net worth ranking, but it explains a lot about where his son's work ethic actually came from. Ed and Donna's marriage didn't survive the transition into their sons' adult lives, but it lasted long enough to raise two NFL Hall of Fame caliber players. After both of their sons graduated from college, Ed and Donna went their separate ways, filing for divorce from each other after about 25 years of marriage. They stayed together specifically for the sake of their kids, something both parents later admitted openly in the family's 2023 documentary. Neither Ed nor Donna is walking around with anything close to their sons' fortunes. Ed's net worth sits in the low millions, built almost entirely off decades in the steel business. Donna's finances are harder to pin down publicly, but her banking career alone put her in a comfortable position long before her sons started cashing NFL checks. The truth is, neither parent needed their sons to get rich. They already had stable, respectable careers of their own. What their son's success actually did was give both of them a second act. One built on brand deals, television spots, and podcast appearances that stack on top of what they'd already built. And that's really the foundation of the entire family fortune. It's not one person who got lucky. It's four people who each built something on their own terms in completely different industries, decades apart from each other. Which brings us to how it all comes together now, and just how big this family's combined footprint has actually become. Put every piece from this story together, and the picture looks nothing like what most people assume when they hear Travis Kelce's family. Start with the sons. Travis sits somewhere between $90 million and $100 million, depending on which tracker you check. Built on more than a decade of NFL contracts, a podcast empire, and a growing list of endorsement deals that now include names like Tommy Hilfiger and Six Flags. Jason sits around $60 million, and remarkably, he's making more now in retirement through ESPN, the podcast, and a growing investment portfolio than he ever made playing football. When you're the mother of two sons worth a combined $150 million, plus the future mother-in-law to a billionaire pop star, financial security probably isn't keeping you up at night. That combined figure alone puts the Kelce brothers in a category most families never approach. Then add the parents. Donna spent 30 years building a genuine finance career before anyone knew her name. And she's since added Hallmark movies, a reality competition series, and a growing list of endorsements on top of it. Ed spent decades in Cleveland's steel industry, turned that into a modest but comfortable retirement, and has become an unlikely media personality in his own right through podcast appearances and documentary features. Neither of them needed their son's money to be financially secure. They'd already built that themselves, the long way, over careers that ran decades before either son signed an NFL contract. And now there's a fifth name that's impossible to leave out of this conversation. Travis's relationship with Taylor Swift didn't just change his public profile, it changed the scale of everything around the family. Her son Travis is engaged to a certain pop superstar named Taylor Swift, who just happens to be worth $1.5 billion, at least according to Celebrity Net Worth. That number alone dwarfs everything else in this story. And it means the family's orbit now includes wealth on a scale that has nothing to do with football, steel, or banking at all. That relationship has already moved from headline to marriage. Travis and Taylor announced their engagement on August 26, 2025, and married on July 3, 2026, at Madison Square Garden in New York City. That wedding formally ties the Kelce family's finances to one of the wealthiest entertainers on the planet, and it's already reshaping how outlets talk about the family's combined worth. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, this isn't a story about one football contract or one viral relationship. It's a mother who quietly built a finance career for 30 years before anyone was watching. It's a father who spent decades in steel mills and took his sons to work in hard hats just to teach them what labor actually felt like. It's two brothers who took very different paths through the NFL, one still playing, one now thriving behind a microphone, and turned football into media businesses worth tens of millions apiece. And now it's a family whose financial orbit includes a global pop star worth well over $1 billion. None of that happened overnight, and none of it happened by accident. Every piece of this family's money has its own decades-long backstory. A banking career, a steel mill, a sixth-round draft pick who became a Hall of Fame center, a two-star recruit who became one of the greatest tight ends the league has ever seen. Add it all up, and it's easy to see why the real number behind Travis Kelce's family is so much bigger than the headline most people remember. The Kelce name now stretches across banking, steel, broadcasting, podcasting, endorsements, and marriage into one of music's biggest fortunes. And every single piece of that got built by someone in this family who worked for it long before the cameras showed up.